Hey, Commanders fans, Greg Sykes here to bring you your daily dose of burgundy and gold breakdown. I'm telling you exactly why I believe today in this video that Terry McLaurin's new contract will get done, and it will get done right before training camp. I just believe this. So hold on, strap yourselves in, and let's talk about it. Terry McLaurin isn't just a fan favorite. He is the heart and soul of the Washington offense. Four straight 1,000-yard seasons, multiple quarterbacks, zero drama. I think that's a stat that isn't echoed or isn't said loudly enough. Zero drama. The guy has earned a raise. And let's be real, okay? The front office knows that they can't afford a training camp distraction, right? Dan Quinn is trying to establish a culture. Jaden Daniels, he stepped into the spotlight. He's trying to continue his success from year one. The last thing that the headlines needs is, where's Terry? We've already seen the media talk about Terry as disgruntled. He's getting very upset because the negotiations have went nowhere and all this stuff. Well, of course, he would like to have had a contract signed 2 weeks ago, but it is what it is, right? And so we just got to persevere, and we got to realize that I think a lot of times, honestly, I think contracts, the best contracts for both the team and the player, get done in the 11th hour. I really do. Um, so here it is. So why do I think that this deal happens right before training camp, if not earlier? Well, it's about all the leverage and the momentum. Commanders front office, now with Adam Peters, of course, they're calling the shots, right? They, Adam Peters knows how to work a deal. He's waiting until the last moment, keeping the media buzz low, give both sides time to kind of finalize the numbers, create a feel good moment right as the players report. That is honestly my prediction in this. I think that's what's happening right now. I mean, think about it. What better way to kick off, uh, you know, the season two of this regime than re-signing your locker room leader and Terry McLaurin right before training camp begins. Hopefully, not right before the actual season begins, because I would like to see him, get on the field a little bit during training camp. Um, but I mean, look at some of the other examples of guys who got deals done right before camp. Nick Bosa, um, DK Metcalf. I'm talking about in the past, but um, I think it could happen. Another reason, well, Terry wants to be here. I mean, I think that's the case. I think Terry honestly wants to be here. He said repeatedly he believes in the city, the fans, and the mission, right? He's a captain, he's a leader, and frankly, he's the guy you want to build around, both him and Jaden Daniels. And I don't think either one of those guys are replaceable. I just don't. Um, and this isn't a guy who's going to hold out in public. He's not going to make a big stink about things. He's not really making demands. But make no mistake, right? He knows his value. And I think the Commanders organization knows his value as well. And I just think the team knows what they would lose, the morale, if they lost Terry McLaurin. I don't see it happening. As a matter of fact, what kind of deal are we talking about? expect something in the range, I would say in the range of 3 years, maybe like $75 million, keeping him in that top 10 money range without overwhelming, without overcommitting an overwhelming long term contract, right? I think, honestly, I think that is a pretty healthy contract. And of course, the big thing would be how much of that would be guaranteed money, right? Because that seems to be part of these contracts nowadays. It's guaranteed money. Um, so if it gets done before camp, you send a massive message, not just to your locker room, but that if you do things the Washington way, you will get rewarded. And then, of course, if there's anybody who's done it the Washington way, it's been Terry McLaurin. Now, honestly, that's why I say don't panic, right? Don't panic. Commanders Nation, don't panic. The deal is getting done. It's getting done, right? And it will drop right before the first whistle of camp. You probably didn't hear it here first, but I'm going to say it anyway. You heard it here first. I'd love to be able to be the first one to say that. Honestly, I've heard so many other people who talk about the Washington Commanders. They talk about the speculation of what can they get for Terry McLaurin and all this stuff. They're talking more in terms of they've already lost Terry McLaurin as opposed to um, what deal is it going to take to keep him, and why should we keep him? And I don't know if it's the idea of I'd rather plan for the worst and hope for the best, but you don't, still, even today, even after the success we had last year, you still have fans who are more centered around I don't want to get uh, number one, I don't want to get too attached to these players because it is a business. It seems like it's more of a business nowadays than it has been decades ago. Um, but plus they don't have the disappointment of knowing that such a what I consider a face of the franchise for the last several seasons, one of the consistent faces of the Washington franchise. People don't want to be brutally disappointed. So I feel like sometimes people are kind of, I think they're just kind of building themselves up, preparing for this big, you know, not a blockbuster trade, but just basically this big letdown of we couldn't sign Terry. So, but I'm going to remain positive with this. I feel like the deal gets done. I think that what I've said, 3-year deal, $75 million, so much of that, of a percentage of that's going to be guaranteed money. I think that that is doable. All right. So now, what's the max that you would pay for Terry? Let me know in the comments below. And do you think this new front office gets a deal done the right way? What is the right way? What do you think the right way is as far as getting a deal done? Or do you think that, hey, love Terry, but at the end of the day, it's nothing personal, it's business? We got Debo Samuel, we got some young wide receivers up and coming. I think we can do well without Terry. If that's the camp you're in, let us know. Put a comment in the comment section. Please don't forget also to subscribe to the Washington Football Maniacs. And of course, when you do, hit the bell, hit that notification bell so you won't miss any other video releases. Okay? That said, hell to the Washington Commanders, hell to the Redskins, and we'll talk more Terry in the next one.